This is News 6 Tonight.
Well, good evening, friends, and welcome to News 6 Tonight. I'm Lauren Melendez alongside the Eric Von Inken.
One of many, yes, who's sitting in tonight because Matt and Ginger are both off tonight. Matt has lost his voice.
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm going to try and use mine.
Okay, well, we can't have you lose yours.
Step in.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got to get through the next half hour.
Yeah, just 30 minutes.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's it.
Yeah, sorry.
We've had a really busy day. We want to talk about all the things that happened just in the past 12 hours. And the biggest one being the investigation into Nancy Guthrie. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the story, she is the 84-year-old woman who was, what FBI believe, was pulled from her Tucson, Arizona home. She is the mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. 10 days they have been searching for her, finding clues, not finding clues. The latest today was some images that the FBI released from Ring doorbell footage that appears to show a masked man trying to obscure the camera. So this is really interesting. It just came out around noon today. We want to get to CBS's Jared Hill with the latest details.
Law enforcement released these surveillance images and video recovered from back-end systems connected to cameras at Nancy Guthrie's home. Authorities say they show an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the cameras at Guthrie's front door the morning she disappeared on February 1st. It's taken the technology company and law enforcement 10 days to extract these images since Guthrie's cameras were not connected to the cloud and did not save recorded images.
If there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
Former FBI hostage negotiator Chip Massey says the latest broad plea for help from Savannah Guthrie speaks volumes.
The fact that Savannah now has done this recent video of pleading directly to the American people, that is a big indication that they no longer right now have faith in the abductors doing the right thing for them.
The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of the 84-year-old or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. Jared Hill, CBS News.
All right, so first of all, this is just gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having to come to work every day or do anything and not knowing what's happening with my mother. Right. She has severe health issues, if you're not familiar. So she's got a pacemaker. She has some high blood pressure. I've been reading a lot about her health, which was the main concern. This was day one.
Right.
If she didn't get medicine, they said verbatim, this could be fatal.
And I heard one of the things, Lauren, you and Chris were talking about earlier at 3 p.m. is why did it take 10 days? And we've seen a lot of people asking that same question. And so I think you hit the nail on the head trying to explain this. And I found this out because I got a Ring at home, Ring doorbell.
Same.
In fact, I got Ring cameras. So I found out if you don't get the subscription, then you or I can't access the footage. But here's the thing, and here's what we found out today. That doesn't mean the footage isn't going somewhere, right? And Jared Hill was explaining that a little bit. So in back-end systems, I have to believe part of the 10-day delay had something to do with subpoenas, right? So going to Ring and saying, you have this.
We need this footage.
Right. But it's not as simple as just telling this company, it's like cell phone records, right? You can't police can't just go and say, give them to us. You need a subpoena.
But this has been just a quite unusual investigation. We've seen, obviously, the FBI involved. They've got state, local authorities, and we see Savannah Guthrie very involved in this. This is the second video that she and her family have released pleading for help. Yeah. And you just heard that expert say this is not a good sign that they have a lot of faith in the people who left the ransom note. The abductors. So a lot happening with this. Again, day 10, and we are just getting new images of a Ring doorbell footage. So we'll be following this closely, but my goodness.
Yeah. Another thing we're looking at is what in the world is going on in the villages, right? So we got this video in of essentially the sheriff's office responding to a house in the villages because explosives were discovered in this house. And so the crazy thing is they get there and, I think you guys were talking about this too earlier, right? The big concern is, well,
who took them?
Is this live? And, so they start evacuating houses. But then they realize that these explosives or ordnance had been stolen from the military.
This is bananas.
Right. So then you start to think, well, how could that happen? Is it nefarious, or is it just as simple as someone was honorably discharged, retired?
Garage sales we've seen are famously for turning these up. People don't have a clue that these are former mortars potentially.
And kept it. Right. And, maybe didn't realize the potential there.
Yeah, so there's the scene too.
Yeah.
This is in the Yucatan
area,
this is
right. Look, this is full-on neighborhood. So there's no inference here that something was done intentionally or wrong, but we just don't know. All we know is it came from the military, and the word they're using is stolen.
And deputies released a Facebook post. I am increasingly got to remember to refresh my Facebook because a lot of information gets released right there. They were the ones exactly. They said, hey, we're getting word. We got a report. A concerned neighbor said that they heard about some sort of, like you said, bombs. And so they had to evacuate. And that there's a whole slew of things that have to happen subsequently now. Yeah. You don't just have a scare, come in, send people back home. So this, undeniably is going to take some time to, figure out. Luckily, folks were told they can go back home, but there's still a subsequent investigation.
Right. What now?
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd it come
from?
What now? And what is it? That's the other thing. We don't know what it is.
Okay, so moving right along.
Visit Orlando.
Visit Orlando. This is the group that is responsible for tourism in the area, for making sure you go on their website and you can find all the fun things to do. But today, a News 6 Jana Manahalal actually went to a meeting that had to establish some guidelines because apparently they were doing some weird things with the purse string. So essentially, they had to conduct, or there was an audit rather, that essentially found out that this organization, Visit Orlando, was not using the money that they were supposed to be using to promote Visit Orlando. It was going in some weird places.
And the reason that I think most people care about this because Visit Orlando gets a ton of cash every year. So they draw from the TDT, the Tourist Development Tax, right? And they get like 30% of it. So it's around $100 million, I want to say, just last year.
That's not chump change.
Right. And so the line's a little blurred with Visit Orlando because they do get public dollars and they also get some private dollars. So what Orange County now is trying to drill down on is the proper classification of those dollars so they know what's public, what's private, and how they're spending it all. So here's Jana's report explaining it.
Today's vote was the result of an audit conducted by Orange County last year into the accounting practices of Visit Orlando. The audit claimed that Visit Orlando miscategorized some of their spending, spent tourist tax dollars on items that didn't exactly promote tourism, not classifying some tourism tax dollars correctly, and lobbying in Tallahassee without the permission of Orange County. Today, Orange County commissioners approved new guidelines to more clearly show where your money is going.
I am grateful for Visit Orlando for the transparency that's been shown during the recent audit.
This is what taxpayers expect us to do in our job, and we're not given the time to properly vet this, review it, and get all of these answers to these questions that we have, and I think it's very irresponsible for the county.
Being a good steward of the people's money is also being a good steward of the people's time. We have so many other things to address, and I think it's time to close this chapter and move forward.
I waited for the CEO of Visit Orlando today to get her thoughts on the meeting.
We have now clarified our agreement and are happy to be aligned with the county and the comptroller, and we are ready to get back to business.
What that means exactly, we're going to have to see.
Right. I was going to say there's some vagueness there, but one thing Jana mentioned too, this was early in our show earlier, it got heated, right? Yes. There were some people who understandably, or I should say, understandably really wanted transparency.
Sure.
And they wanted someone to say, where are the checks and balances here? You're lobbying for things that nobody signed off on. How did it get this far? Who's responsible? So we expect to see something change from this, but again, it's sort of anyone's guess.
Yeah, and like you said, so much money on the table.
Right.
Yeah. Another story is e-bikes, right? We talk so much.
When are we not talking about e-bikes?
Right? And who doesn't have an e-bike these days? So no, I don't have one.
Yeah, me neither. Hand-eye coordination is not great.
Was just forced to get my kid one for Christmas, which, considering all the stories we do, it seemed like a terrible idea, but whatever. I lost. He's 14. so Lauren, so this story is about what can happen when you're not following the rules of the road, even if you're on an e-bike. So same rules still apply.
Spoiler alert, yes, you can get arrested if you take any mode of transportation and put other people in danger. We saw this happen in Winter Springs. Right. So let's get to Catherine Silver. She's got this story. This is very interesting. And she's got great body camera video to show you of this just wild traffic stop.
Go ahead and turn around for me. Come behind your back. under arrest and on an e-bike. This is body camera video from police in Winter Springs. By the time officers caught up to this man early Monday morning, they say they had already watched him fall backwards off his bike near State Road 434.
It was like a slow motion fall where he went back and just laid down for a while, got back up, rode out. We asked if he was okay. He was like, yeah. And then we followed him down the sidewalk. He was wobbly.
You just heard officers explain what they saw. This is around 3 o'clock in the morning after the Super Bowl.
Did you come from Chaos? Yeah. Watch the game?
We also just got this arrest report. It says the man was slurring his words and smelled like alcohol. Listen to what he told officers about his night.
Yeah, the problem is this right here. That's why I went up on there and I was like, boom, like right into the whatever that is, the Matrix.
Yeah, man, I heard you pretty good, man.
Yeah, pretty good.
To legit saw you wipe out, okay? So
it's right here. That's the problem right there.
You might not want to use that bike if that's the case, especially if you're a little bit intoxicated.
No.
Because I could smell something, right?
No.
No? Well, I can. You might not, but I definitely can.
We've seen DUI arrests before where drivers weren't in cars but were on wheels. Look at this video from a traffic stop in Sumter County on a golf cart.
Stop!
We've even seen an arrest a few years ago in Polk County where a woman was stopped on the highway riding her horse. We're asking our traffic safety expert about the rules of the road.
Anything that technically you are in control of and you're taking out on the roadway, you could be charged with DUI and, yeah, even a horse.
In the eyes of the law, penalties are the same?
Penalties are exactly the same. You would be charged with DUI.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
There you have it.
I got to hand it to the officers, because this day and age, everything's recorded, right? I mean, people record the officers. The officers have their body camera.
Right.
And, they're looking at this guy on the e-bike, and he talks about his, handlebar being loose and, popping
many
a
other
wheelie.
things, yeah.
And they just nod and smile and listen, to their credit.
Yeah. This is another reason why I love that we have True Perceive, though, because having a traffic safety expert to kind of give perspective, people might not know. I mean, it sounds silly, but if you're on anything, especially motorized, that's sort of maybe a no-brainer. But yes, a golf cart.
Yeah.
Yes, a horse. Catherine did a great job offering perspective and giving us some background because these are situations. I hashtag only in Central Florida.
Yeah, and the rules of the road apply,
Yeah.
as we've seen.
All right, so let's move on to an otter. We love manatees in this area, but today we're going to talk about an otter. It's specially trained. His name is Splash. That's his actual name. And he's making a splash in the headline.
He's
actually right. He's a cute little guy, but he's actually doing some really, really important work. So we're talking about him because he is a key piece of sort of the resurgence of an investigation into a woman named Nicole Baldwin. She is the missing mother of 3. She's been missing for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And they have been looking for her. She's from Mount Dora. It is his strong sense of underwater smell, if you can believe it. Very sort of rudimentary, or I should say like very back to basics way of investigating. But
it's a great idea, right? I mean, when you think about it. So I first of all, I didn't know otters had this capability
I had no
at
idea.
all. And the way I understand it, Lauren, maybe you can help me with this, but the way I understand it is so he looks for scents underwater, and then releases air bubbles.
Hit the nail on the head.
Right, and then the air bubbles come up to the surface, and I would imagine on the surface there's cadaver dogs, right? And so they pick up the scent finally, because of course, if something's underwater, you can't smell it. And so that's, cadaver dogs and canines are amazing, right? Their noses are incredible. I mean, it's something like, thousands of times more sensitive than a human, but not underwater.
Right.
So the otter releases it, and then they pinpoint the area where investigators or canines or, some other detectives, experts,
and it works.
Know where to look.
That's the thing. This otter had, they say, I think I saw 20 some odd cases that he's helped on, and has actually brought a conclusion to a case. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. This is not something they're just testing out. This has been proven to make a difference, and obviously they're hoping that they can find a break in this case. This woman has been gone for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is what they're resorting to.
Right.
So
right.
hopefully it's something. You mentioned manatees before.
Yeah, we want to hold that.
Yes, we're going to talk about a particular manatee that ended up in a particular storm drain.
He had somewhere to be.
Yeah, and they pulled out all the stops to get it out. And we also found out today how that manatee's doing and who is taking care of the manatee. That's right after the break.
Welcome back.
Yes, so Melby. Melby, I think is the name of this manatee.
Is that what officially we're calling him?
So it's not us.
Yeah.
So last night, I mean, Lauren, you remember this. So this started, we were finishing up the 6 o'clock news, and then this started happening.
This was wild.
So we found out that there's a manatee stuck in a storm drain in Melbourne Beach, right? And somehow it swam in because it was looking for warmer water. There was no grate.
Nothing.
And I guess
we have a lot of questions about how this exactly.
Right, because this is
where is the barrier?
Yeah, years before it happened, like 19 got stuck in a drain. Anyway, this was just one. They cut open the sidewalk. They brought in a crane. They lifted Melby out. People started chanting Melby, we presume. Because it's Melbourne Beach, so Melbourne Beach.
But talk about an overwhelming response. I mean, state, local, federal agencies all responding
and
here.
then the crowd that was growing and the cheers. So today, SeaWorld has jumped in, and they are taking care of Melby. They said it was... what was their phrasing? Juvenile, so like a teenage.
Yeah, and he or she was severely
Mm-hmm.
malnourished. They said the skin was really wrinkly. It was in bad shape. I mean, they're not supposed to go that long, out of warm water without food. So yeah, SeaWorld's taking care of them. They swooped in. But what about the road?
They actually, Alex Cook was out there this afternoon. They got this fixed within 24 hours. They filled it in with concrete and asphalt, and they covered it up, and Alex said it's like nothing ever
I was just going to say, when we talked to him today at 5 o'clock, it looked like you would never have thought that there was any rescue, any drilling of any sort. So they did a great job, not only rescuing Melby, but also making sure that drivers can get safely over that road.
The lengths they will go to.
Exactly.
Yeah, for a manatee.
Other lengths that we're going to try to get a huge building sold or whatever you want to call it. Finished.
Finally built. Yes, constructed. So if you watch Jeopardy, I think it was last night. Was it on Jeopardy last night, DJ? Last night, Jeopardy. DJ watches Jeopardy every night.
We're not judging DJ.
One of the questions was something along the lines of, in Seminole County, Florida, there is something along I-4. So they kind of led you down the road.
Right.
And
the category was starts and ends with a vowel.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And so the answer was, well, I probably shouldn't give you the answer. DJ, do we have the question? So nationally, and so the ultimate question is, I asked, did the person on Jeopardy get it right? Nationally, the person did, but locally,
that's crazy.
even we didn't get it right.
What a reputation! I mean, this building. What did they start construction? I think in 2001 or 2003.
Right.
The Majesty Building.
Right.
I mean, they've got T-shirts about this thing. It has truly become a Central Florida staple. But yeah, it's not the prettiest thing to drive by, and nobody knows when it'll get completed, if it'll ever get complete. I almost don't know if it should. I feel like this is the running joke.
And if you're wondering what the holdup is, so every time we look into it, the answer from, I think it's one of the Christian channels that owns Super Channel. So their answer is they just want to pay for it as they build it.
Right,
they don't
exactly.
want to take out any loans.
Because
so
they
that's
are
why
hemorrhaging money otherwise.
Right. That's why it's taking
did a great job on that.
Yes.
If you're curious about the story, head to clickorlando.com too, because it's hilarious seeing people try to answer this in real time. Like we had the answer, we cheated. So.
Yeah, right. I shouldn't have given it away. We are back right after the break talking about a street sign that, in fact, right where the station is located.
History.
You've seen this name, I'm sure, over and over and over again. There's a whole lot more to it. You may know it, but if you didn't, it's okay, because I didn't either. Don't be embarrassed.
And there's a unique auction that's going to let you get a piece of this person's history. We're going to put all the puzzle pieces together right after the break. Welcome back to News 6 Tonight. Okay, so John Young Parkway. Let's just put it out there. We've all driven down it, heard of it, seen it, but few people probably understand the history behind the name. Who was he? He's a famous astronaut.
Yeah.
He's the only astronaut, in fact, from Central Florida to make such a name for himself. And not only that, they're auctioning off some pieces of his uniform, which is incredible. If you are a space enthusiast, this is going to be important.
Space geek. I'm a space geek.
Space geek. Okay.
But I appreciate you
got
being
permission.
polite.
I was trying to be politically correct.
Space nerd.
Ginger Gadsden has an incredible story, giving us some of the history behind how he changed the space program and how you can get a piece of it.
John Young is an Orlando native. He is the only astronaut from Orlando, period.
Captain John Young wasn't just part of the space program. He helped define it.
He is the only astronaut to fly in Gemini, Apollo, and Space Shuttle. He is one of the 3 men to go to the moon twice.
And if those credentials aren't enough, consider this. When NASA launched the Space Shuttle for the very first time without a test flight, they chose Young to command it.
America's first space shuttle.
Good picture, John, coming down. Like John Young's not going to wait for doctors.
Now, pieces of that legacy are being shared with the public in an upcoming auction.
These are the patches that he wore on his spacesuit on Apollo 10. These flew to the moon, flew back. He was the command module pilot. There's only 24 men who have gone to the moon. There are only 12 men who have walked on the moon.
And only one from Orlando, a man whose legacy stretches from Gemini to Apollo to the Space Shuttle and forever into space history. On John Young Parkway, Ginger Gadsden, News 6.
Okay, so that's cool. Even if you're not a space geek, as you proclaimed, that you can't deny how neat that is.
That was my first introduction, Lauren, to John Young, was when I came for my interview here 22 years ago. And I didn't, and I said
you're
this
not
on
only
there.
21? Trying to get that raise. No.
Love it. Love it. So polite. Hey, I'll fill in anytime next to you. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, I didn't know who John Young was at the time, and I found out. Other people were in my shoes too. I mean, I learned very quickly.
Right.
But yeah, so Gemini, Apollo, and the space shuttle. I knew that he was the first commander of the space shuttle, but that's a risk, right?
And you just don't realize how few people can say that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very exclusive club.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a piece of his patch from the Apollo or any of the other things that Ginger mentioned, you should probably head to this auction. It's going to cost you a little penny. You'd have to dig into the pockets.
It's funny.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
So I looked. So it's who Ginger interviews. So the American Space Museum in Titusville. I have never been in all of my years, so I need to go. But I looked online to see if you could check on the auction how much some of this stuff is going for. I did not see any prices.
Oh,
I did not
okay.
see any.
I'm assuming something like that's not going to go for cheap.
I would imagine so.
You could be surprised.
But it ends on Valentine's Day, so
ladies,
depending on the,
maybe you don't want
spouse
flowers.
that you are. Yeah, well, you know.
Maybe you don't want dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe you want a $500,000 patch.
How important, right, is your significant other to you? That's the question that you got to ask.
But I just wanted to hone in again on Ginger Gadsden's reporting. A lot of pride in Central Florida, specifically Orlando, and I think it's incredible. Hopefully the next time you drive down John Young Parkway, you recognize the historical value.
New appreciation.
Exactly.
For sure.
There we go.
Jonathan Kegas is up next with the weather. He's got his own show, so if you want to know, is it going to rain for the Daytona 500?
Oh, boy.
He's the person. That's at 9:30. Thanks for sticking around with us.
Have a great night.
Bye.